First up is our crouching adductor to twist. We're going to put our ankle out in front of our knee, then turn our head and chest to the sky. From there, we are going to bring our elbow down to the ground and hold for a count of 3. Make sure your back leg is straight out and look where you're going. Try to get a little further each time. Keep your hips aligned and don't let them sway out to the side. Remember to hold each position for 3 seconds. You should feel this stretch through the inside of your front leg in that adductor region, or possibly your hamstrings if they are over tight. Next up is our quad stretch to arabesque. What we are going to do here is tuck our midfoot up towards our glute. We want to keep our knee aligned under our hip, and we want to control our balance while bending forwards towards the ground. Try to maintain a neutral spine, also known as a straight back. We should feel a comfortable stretch through the front of our leg. This challenges the stability of our stance leg and creates mobility through the hip flexor and quad region on the other. If you struggle to balance here, try to think about grabbing the ground with your toes. This will give you an external stimulus to focus your mind on. The third stretch is our dynamic glute stretch. Place your ankle just above your knee and lightly push that knee down towards the ground. Sit back on your hips and bring your chest forward. You should feel a light stretch through your glute. Remember to maintain a neutral spine and to sit back into a quarter squat position. This stretch obviously challenges your single leg stability and will help create mobility through your hip. The slower we go, the better. It is all about control. Next up is our standing cars hip mobility. You want to imagine you are trying to lift your leg up and over a fence. Lift your leg and turn the hip as if you are trying to get that ankle high enough over the fence, then let your knee and hip follow. When we come back the other way, the order is reversed. This drill works on the control and stability through your stance leg while creating dynamic mobility through your hips. It is a great drill to do after you've done some static mobility work, such as foam rolling or trigger point therapy through your hip region. Our deep squat mobility targets the whole body. Sit back into your hips and use your ball as a counterbalance. Reach to the sky for 3 seconds with one hand, and then switch sides. From there, reach both hands up and stand tall. Ensure you are controlling your breathing and maintaining a neutral spine. Our heels should be flat on the ground, and we want a stance position that is close to shoulder width apart. If you struggle, try a slightly wider foot position with your toes turned slightly out. For your band work, make sure you're in an athletic stance with your feet shoulder width apart and knees in line with your big toes. Sit back into your hips with a tall chest and walk backwards on a 45-degree angle, ensuring your body and your toes stay facing forwards. The same rules apply for your forward skaters. With your lateral push step, it's like a defensive slide. Your feet should never come closer than shoulder width apart. Really focus on pushing off of the outside hip and not reaching with the inside leg. Make sure with these movements you control your upper body and don't let it sway. For the bird dogs, maintain a neutral spine and engage your core. Make sure you control your breathing with this. There should be a straight line from your head all the way down to your heel. Control the ball movement. Try not to let your body sway. Aim for 6 reps each side, then try 6 reps where you go around the arm. With the mountain climbers, make sure you hold that neutral spine. There's going to be 4 movements: knee to the outside elbow, knee to the inside elbow, and then repeat with the other leg. Brace your core and allow your hips to follow the knee movement without letting them sag to the ground. For your bear crawls, place the foam roller on your back. Your shins should be parallel to the ground with your knees under your hips and your hands under your shoulders. Move forwards and backwards with your opposite arm and leg moving at the same time. Control your core and use a roller as an instant feedback and guide on what part of your core needs to be stronger. If it falls off to the side, you probably need to control some rotation. If it falls off the back, you probably need to control that flexion and extension of your spine. The seated triple extension is going to teach you how to produce force rapidly and drive through those hips. Drive your feet into the ground and jump as high as you can, extending through your hips, knees, and ankles. Make sure on your landing you are soft and sticky back in those hips. Having your hands on the hips allow you to focus on the lower body rather than utilizing an arm swing here. For your tall to short jumps, the same rules apply as the seated triple extension. The difference is this time you can utilize an arm swing. Stand tall and reach for the sky. Throw your arms back rapidly and sink into those hips. As soon as you hit the ground, transfer this force back up to the sky and jump as high as you can. The arm swing can generate up to an extra 20% of vertical height, so it's important to get this aspect right. Stick the landing and repeat. The penultimate jump focuses on our 2-foot jumping technique. The second last step is also known as our penultimate step. This should be a long and athletic stride. Strike the ground with your heel and then swing that final step through quickly. The final step should be on a 30-degree angle to our destination. This allows us to transfer that horizontal force to a vertical one. Timing of the arm swing is vital here. You want to time the arm swing so that they drive through and extend at the same time as your hips. Your chest angle will be dependent on what type of jumper you are and how fast your approach is. Finally, our power skips will introduce you to some straight line running mechanics. Pop off that midfoot, stay tall in your chest, and drive that knee out in front of you. Keep your toes to the sky and work on maintaining right angles through that arm swing. Remember the opposite arm and leg move together.